This is Solis, owner, pharmacist at Ridgepoint Medical Pharmacy, also the creator of the new business Teaching Moments. And for about the last 2 months now, we've been going over a variety of different topics. We've covered mindset and the difficulties that we're going to experience in any kind of new endeavor. We've talked about the struggle that everyone has to go through, which is the journey that we experience, whether we're actually making a conscious effort to do something or not. We are going through a journey in life every single day. Let's make sure that we are in the driver's seat of our journey. That's been kind of the focus of the mindset, is we need to be in control of the journey. Now there will be times when we're going to be knocked off course, but if we are in control of the vehicle, in this case here our lives, then even if we get knocked off course, we put ourselves back on track. Now what happens though is, how quickly do we get ourselves back on course after we've had a setback? And that's really critically important, because if we're going through a life-changing situation, and let's say it's a death in the family, and we are in mourning for 6 months or a year or maybe even multiple years, that is obviously taking us off our track of where we want to go in life. And the stronger that we make our minds so that we can get back on track, it helps us shorten the distance or the time frame from when we get knocked off our route and back onto the route where we want to go. The stronger we make our minds, the sooner we can get back on track. Critically important thing is our mindset. Problem solving. We talked about resourcefulness. We talked about that there's different sources by which we as individuals can find information that we need to make a better decision, which is the problem-solving aspect of our journeys. Whether it's something that we have in our personal files, or whether it's information that we can get from other people, or whether it's from books, or from videotapes, or from training programs. Resourcefulness. As Tony Robbins has said so eloquently, it is not how many resources you have, but how much resourcefulness you have. So being resourceful is critically important in any stage of our journey. And so we have to kind of determine for ourselves, what level of a problem solver are we? If we're at a low level of problem solving, we need to raise that level up, obviously. But while we're going through that process of developing ourselves, we need to use others who have already achieved a greater level of problem solving so that we can get through our problems much more quickly. This also leads back to the journey situation. If we get knocked off track and you're in a vehicle and you need to find a mechanic because it's beyond your level of expertise, then obviously finding a mechanic is critically important to get yourself back on track. So using others, critically important in helping ourselves get back on track. The compound effect. Darren Hardy is responsible for kind of giving me a really important insight that our small, consistent decisions that we make every day, whether they're conscious or whether they're subconscious, either leads to a productive output or a negative output. And it's really important that these small, consistent decisions that we make every day are set into motion to give us a positive response. Like I said, these small, consistent decisions over time either will lead to a positive or to a negative outcome. Let's be in charge. Mindset, problem solving, making sure that we lead into a positive outcome from the compound effect. Goals. We've talked about goals. We've talked about that we've got to make decisions every day. And these decisions that we make daily have to be followed by action, which is kind of like the topic that we're discussing right now, is implementation. Goals can come from bad habits. If we, on a consistent basis, go to fast food stores, whether it's a McDonald's, and because it's fast, it's convenient, and we eat those type of foods consistently, actions, obviously it will lead possibly to a very negative effect in terms of our health, either being overweight or just having poor nutrition, being sluggish, not having the energy that we need to get through the day. So our goals, we need to set goals every day, guys. It's important that we understand what those goals are on a day-to-day basis. If we don't set goals, we don't know where we're headed. There's been examples mentioned before. If you were to walk up to a laborer and he is laying bricks on the ground, and you were asked that laborer, what are you building? And he says, I don't know, I'm just laying bricks. I mean, there's something wrong with that scenario. And unfortunately, that's kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis. We're laying bricks. We're working every single day. We're putting down bricks. We're putting down bricks. But we don't know what we're building. We need to know what those goals are, guys. If we don't know what those goals are, we may end up creating nothing. And we continue to be frustrated. While we're trying to do these goals, obviously teamwork, especially in the work setting, which is what we're discussing here today, being part of the business teaching moment, is making sure that we develop a good team around us. If you're the one that's in charge of your team, then obviously you are entrusted with bringing in a situation where you build trust between the members, resolve any conflicts that may occur between the different members, making sure that your members within your team are committed on a day-to-day basis to the goals and the outcomes that are desired for your organization, and then of course having checks and balances to make sure there's accountability for what we're trying to accomplish. But all of these different things that we're discussing here, none of it means anything if it just stays in our minds. We have to put implementation of all of these things that we're learning. If we don't implement what we have been told or what we've been taught, then information is powerless without activity. We need to put into action all the different things that we're being taught. And one of the biggest problems that we have is change. And so we need to take that first step. Once we take that first step and we start implementing, let's say you want to lose weight. If you don't actually make a concerned or a concerted effort to actually set up a plan of action on what you want to do to lose weight, you're never going to lose weight. If you're at work and you don't have the resources available to you immediately to improve your work environment, and of course maybe you have some ideas on what needs to be done, but if they stay just as ideas and they're not actually implemented, then you're going to continue to have a work environment that is one that you're not wanting to be in. So the bottom line is, guys, implementation of everything that we've been taught. Until you take that first step, you're not gonna realize what can come from a repeated, small, consistent effort towards your goals that you're trying to accomplish. So let's change lives together.